Okay. You want to share the screen?
Yes. All right, so the next one, external storage repo. This is going to be a working session. Through the slides. Okay, so we've been incubating projects in one giant repo, and it's not been a great thing. It was all right for a while, but now it's not great. And as you saw with the operator talk, we have about 6 different operator libraries to choose from, plus the one that we custom wrote that's in the external storage repo, and all of that dependency, all the dependencies between the project and trying to boil them down into one glide file is a nightmare. So there's been an effort to break this out, and there's been some direction from the steering committee that we need to break the projects out of that, or omnibus repo, as Tim called it. And to do that, we need to establish a project lead and then the developers and the community involvement in each project. So all that to say, we have a whole bunch of projects, and some of them are in various states of disrepair. And I'm going to go through right now each one, and if we don't identify owners this time, I'm going to mark them yellow, and if we don't identify owners by 111, they're gone. That sound fair?
111.
At the end of 111.
111, for 11 next year.
No, like after the 111 release. No, they don't get that long.
That's what I thought.
So we'll have this time to identify owners. If we don't have owners, I think they'll just sit in this repo and they'll just fall out of maintenance. And the SIG will turn their back to them. The what? All right, so AWS EFS, Imant, we have you down as the owner. Is that correct?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
What does EFS have their own? What is it?
It's an NFS like it's an NFS like product from AWS.
It runs on top of Kubernetes.
So EFS is a product from
Sure, Elastic Process.
Yeah,
so what is this product?
it's like a provisioner, so you can just after you account that you create NFS.
CFS.
So this makes sense to me to take AWS.
Probably
Well, we'll still, I mean, we wrote the code. I don't see them maintaining it.
But we need to find a home for it. So I think that would be a good exercise here too, is figure out what the home is.
Okay.
Would be.
So that also means that some of our precious SIG members will also be SIG AWS members. Don't do any work for them.
We already have that because.
All right, so Ceph file, Ceph RBD, Ceph block. I'm not sure which one this is. Do we have somebody that's interested in owning this?
Is this a Ceph provisioner or?
Yes.
Okay.
Are these CSI external CXI storage drivers, or what are those?
I think these are the old external provisioners.
Oh, the old external provisioners. Okay.
I see a lot of activity on the external sort of but I don't think any of it would like activity.
So they're not attending the SIGs, they're just maintaining it in the dark?
They're not here.
Okay.
But I mean, you can look at like the history, PR history on the Vivo to see.
The government reviews it and development feedback.
Is that last committer Adam? Brad, do you want me to reach out to him? Seth?
Here.
See you in place.
It probably was Adam. FFS, we have OFC.
Yeah.
Who dat?
It's pretty active guy. Just different time zone.
I have no idea who that is.
Look on history on the upper right.
Looks like Koya Coffee. I don't know how you say that. Coffee C. That's who we need to reach out to. Let's see if that's the same. It looks like Matthew Long merged himself. So we have Tim N. Looks like Koya C or Coffee C is the one we need to talk to. Coffee C, okay.
Can you shrink down column E so that we can see the last column?
This is it's just the link. Oh, that would be helpful. I'm gonna mark this yellow since nobody showed up. This one we got a maintainer for.
So it'll be interesting moving forward with CSI. The external provisioners will be part of CSI. Whether we need to maintain separate provisioners at all for a lot of things.
I don't think we will. Okay, so DigitalOcean.
So if that's the case, then maybe these external provisioners, we should just leave them where they are and mark them as deprecated. Point to the CSI drivers.
Provisional themselves, CSI provisional use some of this as a library.
Yeah, but it should all be like part of the CSI like driver, or it shouldn't be an external component that's in a separate repo.
This person.
So like the EFS one, would it make sense to have an EFS NFS, sorry, EFS CSI driver? It would basically bundle an NFS driver and EFS provisioner together.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense to have a CSI.
So maybe when we do the migration, instead of doing just external provisioner for EFS, do EFS CSI driver, and then bundle the external provisioner together with an NFS driver.
Yeah.
So the DigitalOcean, do we have an owner for this? Are you wanting to take it? Last commit was 4 months ago, well, 3 months ago. That was a change to the README.
So Faith is already done. CSI.
This one's already in CSI?
Yeah, I thought I saw DigitalOcean writing something in CSI.
I think you could deprecate it. Huh?
All right, Flex. Worldflights. What? We can't really deprecate this one. I mean, we have the CSI for it, and the last change was March 10th.
What is this doing? The external flux provision?
Yes.
What is it?
What is it? It calls a shell script, I believe. Yeah, it calls.
Does Flex have a create line?
With the external, so the external flex provisioner is an external provisioner that calls a shell script to provision or delete. So it just adds two more.
I don't know if it worked. I think I took a look at this a while back, and there wasn't actually code, if I remember right.
Is, who's the maintainer, Ian?
No, not Ian. He just had problems building things, building the repo.
He touched it last. It's his.
See who else it was? Who's the one who started it? Brad.
Who's that guy? I don't know about that guy. All right, this thing's dead.
Yeah, I terminated it unless somebody's using it.
So I'll have a moment of silence for the external flex provisioner. All right, Gluster.
Gluster should have a CSI driver, right?
Yeah, I believe
It
so.
doesn't yet.
Should, somebody needs to get on that.
We're working on it.
Who was that? Oh, sweet.
John, are you taking ownership?
No, I think Humble owns this one, but
That is true.
I will.
So yeah, the external provisioners, don't migrate them, create a CSI driver, and then deprecate the external.
Let's see. Is that Humble C? He's been pretty active on this too, right? I mean, I don't think he wants this removed anytime soon. I'm going to list him as the owner, and I'll talk with him to offline and make sure he's okay with it.
The nice thing about the external provisioners is that most of that code can probably be reused in the CSI driver.
Right, and so, I mean, what we have to do is go before the steering committee with our projects, the list of projects and the owners, and they will make Kubernetes-SIG-project name repos for each one of these projects. That's what this is essentially, is which ones do we want to live outside of here.
So like Gluster, do we want SIG storage to have that, or?
Gluster proper will want to own that, I assume.
Yeah, but we've got stuff under the Gluster namespace already. We just
Is
don't
that
have-
GitHub/Gluster?
Yeah,
Okay.
we just don't have a CSI driver up yet for that, right? It's still kind of in
So in
the
this case,
design
like-
phase. So, you know, and so this kind of has to live until we get the CSI driver.
So maybe make it
Ready.
orange, and then once the CSI driver comes online, then we can deprecate this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not really sure that we want to go through the effort of like breaking it out into another project as opposed to just kind of limping along with the current structure here until it's time to just switch over to CSI.
Yeah, I want to actually get away from promoting individual internal provisioners, because it makes it really difficult to understand, because you have this component of the volume plugin that's completely separate from everything else. So
Well, I agree, but I mean, we've had stuff in tree. It's not really fair for us to say like, hey, it's not going to work anymore unless you go to CSI. Because they've had their projects here. Humble's been active on the Gluster project specifically, you know, and telling him like, hey, this, no more changes to
but
this.
if you go to CSI, you get the external provisioner automatically, right? CSI's got external provisioning built in. It's got
Yeah, but then he's got to write a Gluster driver that's a parity with the one in tree. And
which we want to do anyway.
we do.
So if that's the end goal, I don't want to like move this stuff out, create new repos for it just to have these repos deprecated. Like if we are planning to deprecate these repos, let's focus on what the new shiny thing is going to be, and leave this stuff where it is for as long as it's needed, and then delete it.
That's fair. So we'll look at the stuff that's, I mean, we can leave the stuff in place that's here.
Yeah.
And that's planned to move to CSI. Okay, so there's three categories of stuff. The stuff that's here that's going to move to CSI. The stuff that's here that needs to move to its own project, which will probably be snapshot
Right.
and local storage.
Yep.
And then there's stuff that's here that just needs to die.
Do you want to make that the 3 categories and just make that column?
Okay.
Go to CSI, new project, and kill. That's right.
Can I start using Bing Sheets for now on?
So number 2 should be CSI.
Oops.
That should be CSI. RDP, CSI. DigitalOcean, CSI. Flex, deprecate. Cluster, CSI.
Heck, this was just some scripts, it looked like, to create API objects.
Is anybody using it in this room?
Coffee C was the last one on it. Oops.
Updates.
Appears to update generated code.
Maybe leave it where it is and then kill.
Yeah, I think this is a kill. SCSI target D. I think this is a nice SCSI provisioner.
Okay, so that should go to CSI.
Yeah, that's pretty active too. Do we have an owner for this? I mean, because some of this stuff we're just saying move to CSI, but who's going to do it?
Yeah.
SCSI, iSCSI?
If it sits there for a while, and we're gonna pick it up.
Who was, John, was that you volunteering? What's your GitHub ID? Okay. I didn't hear the part of if it sits here for a while, nobody takes it. It just sounded like I'll take it.
So I'm trying to, I think the center one.
What the hell is lib? Is that the external storage library? Or external?
Yes, yes, it's essentially our operator.
I think that's worth pulling out as a separate project because it's used by CSI and other people are dependent on it as well. For writing the external provisioners on their own.
That means I'm off the hook, right?
You're off the hook for lib. So what are you doing on Cinder? Because I know there's a couple of cross efforts for Cinder.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually sync up with some folks on that. The standalone Cinder.
Okay.
It's kind of, so the only implementation for a standalone Cinder right now is in that external repo for the traditional old model. I'm doing a standalone Cinder CSI.
And how's that different from the other Cinder? I know, well, I know there's some people in Red Hat working on some Cinder stuff.
So Adam and I worked on the one that's an incubator, which is the external standalone Cinder, right? And that one just uses straight up standard OpenStack semantics and the old Kubernetes volume APIs, right? And then there's, Gorka is working on some things with breaking Cinder up. I'm working on doing a standalone pod deployed Cinder that's CSI that uses the new Kubernetes CSI. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then Flavio Flapper is also working on that. You know,
Okay. Are you guys going to live in the same Cinder repo, or?
yeah. So I'm actually stuffing this stuff in the OpenStack cloud provider OpenStack repo right now, external repo. Hopefully I'll show you later this week.
Okay. I'll put Ramen on here also. That's not the right column.
But no, on that one we were talking about. Weren't you saying, Tom, that you think that needs to be something special since we're using it all over this?
No, that was the iSCSI. So there's a lib folder it's the backbone library for all of our operator type of stuff. So this should be a new project.
Okay.
Iman, I have you listed on here. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should name it something.
Other than lib?
We need to find out more for.
I mean, it'll be one of the new repos that we get created, say, storage,
Yep.
dash, something. Something that should be not the.
Something sexy.
You
Mr.
call it
Operator.
External provisioner operator.
What was the one? They had two operator libraries that were named the same thing, except there's a dash in one of them. What was it? Operator kit and operator dash kit. The smooth operator. We got one.
Are we saying the smooth operator name is taken, so I should stop?
All right, so local volume, that's going to be a new project. Michelle, we have you listed. Okay.
Because it does like static discovery of volumes, which is not really a supported protocol.
Okay.
So I think that can be incorporated into this.
So I'll populate the owner's file for the projects that we list as new projects on here. And I'll grab that one in too. NFS client. What the heck is that?
It creates directories out of the NFS server,
So it's a provisioner.
but it just creates directories out of the existing server.
Can it be converted to CSI driver?
I guess. I mean, there's like two modes, right? You could provision a new NFS server for every volume, or you could just create a directory out of an existing one. So those are like two different provisioning operations. So,
I mean, this makes perfect sense to CSI driver.
yeah. So you might need like one CSI driver that does provisioning like this, and another CSI driver that does.
Or you could just make it a flag and say whatever type of provision you want, just use some provisioner.
Good.
NFS client. Terrible name. Yeah, it should be renamed. Let's say CSI with a new rename.
Do we have an owner for this?
I mean, it'll be NFS, it's the NFS.
Well, there's another one called NFS.
Right. So I know there's like a NFS running as a pod on Kubernetes that would provision shares from that. This was all for example stuff. Like it was primarily.
Yeah, so what's the difference between NFS clients?
Yeah, so NFS client creates directories out of an existing NFS server, whereas NFS actually creates new NFS servers.
Okay.
But I don't actually know what the backup storage is.
Okay.
Is anybody interested in owning this?
I think there's somebody already working on an NFS CSI driver. I think Shing, you helped a little bit with it. I don't think there's an official owner for it. Yeah. But it already exists, I think, under Kubernetes CSI drivers.
Is it in a Red Hat folder?
No, right now it's under Kubernetes CSI.
Yeah, we can move it to CSI volumes or something.
Or we could just,
Leave
if
it.
we're gonna do these, make a new project for that CSI driver.
Talking about a new project under the Kubernetes
So
or
I'm thinking I think we'll need to go through all the projects that say CSI and figure out what the home for them will be. For the cloud provider specific ones, it should be the SIG cloud provider. For NFS and iSCSI, we were always like, it was a question where it should be. Now I think we could just do SIG storage, NFS, SIG
I think
storage.
the biggest thing is identifying an owner for it. I mean, because
I think
it's up to the whims of the owner.
It'll have to be this group. Like, I don't see any way around it. We could throw it out, but like ultimately.
So you sure you don't want to own it? You know the pleasures that come along with the project ownership?
Just think how popular it is.
Yeah, it's NFS.
Let's just mark it as CSI for now, and then we'll come back and revisit all the CSI ones and say, where are we gonna go? The other question is whether 23 and 25 should be combined into a single driver.
Well, once we find an owner for it, I guess we'll let that person. And if it's us, we'll just combine it.
No one steps up to be an owner for the purpose of need.
There you
Does
go.
something even care about it enough?
Right.
It's
I'm
true.
pretty sure people use these, users will use them, but I don't know if they're well, if the CSI plugin can like place some functionality.
Yeah, it has to reach parity with this current stuff before you really kill it. But if it's broken already, then I guess it's already a parity. OpenEBS, we do have an owner for that. Is this going to move to CSI? Okay. This one's green, but it's not a new project. Standalone Cinder, we've got owners for that. That's CSI, and that's actually out of tree CSI, so we've already established the pattern for this, right? God dang. It's good.
So I think it's part
It's
of,
actually the Kubernetes
yeah. It's SIG open
cloud
stack.
provider.
See.
So it's not.
Should we link this? I mean, I hate, that's the one weird thing about giving them over to the cloud providers is we kind of lose track of them.
If you want, I'll log into it later.
Update the link. Okay, thank you.
I think there's Kubernetes-CSI, we have a list of drivers.
Okay. Repo infra. I think this is release relaying. Who put these links in here? It's a damn child's beat, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so 10 months ago, it sounds like this thing's dead.
Scroll down to the description. Scroll to the top. First paragraph. Was this like something added by CNCF system?
Said by Wayne Bow.
Can you go look at the code?
Let's see the history of this. Oh no, it was that by Matthew. So Matthew added it, and then Wayne Bow updated it.
It looks like it's some sort of tooling for this repo.
Yeah, so this is where it's rip. Snapshot, it's going to be a new project, correct?
Well, it depends on the decision of whether
whether SIG architecture allows it to move in tree or not. If not, then yes, it will be a new project. If so, then it'll just end up moving in tree.
Who's presenting to SIGAR?
Shing is going to present either Jing and Shing next week or this week. Next week.
All right, I'm gonna mark this as yellow since it's still in progress. What is this alpha beta? Let's go through some of these. This snapshot's still beta, right?
Yeah. I call it prototype. Yeah. Alpha.
The one in here, we added alpha.
Yeah, let's call it alpha.
Alpha.
Because when it goes in tree, it'll still be alpha.
Are we gonna step our CSI drivers through alpha beta, same type of thing? I think we have to if they're considered Kubernetes projects.
Yeah. Project, like, the thing though is like it's, the designation is kind of meaningless because it's an external project. You just put the external provisioner.
Do it.
It's external provisioner specifically, right?
What, this lib directory? Well, I think it's used by Snapshot as well, right? Snapshot and local storage. Oh, you're using a different library?
Well, the provision actually, the provision part actually uses the snapshot provision, the query volume from snapshot one actually uses this one. So right now it is, yes. So right now it uses the type of.
So yeah, I think this is just external provisioner right now.
Okay. We consider this beta. I mean, it's been pretty well tested. It's gonna be, this is gonna be, I'm gonna have to make a case to the architecture board where this exactly lives. And I kind of, I mean, it's the difference between Kubernetes-C.
So, I would understand external provisioner is another directory under external storage that uses lib as a dependency.
Where do you, wait, where do you see external provisioner?
So for example, the snapshot, right? We have the query volume from snapshot that provisioner. That provisioner actually uses this lib. So like it uses this directory. It's done this. Field behind on this.
Okay.
So probably the other provisions are the same.
Yeah, so they use this control, the control defined in this, and each plugin has to implement a provisioner interface, and then this controller goes in. The control is the one that gets called from the main, and the provisioners, the controller in turn calls
provisioners. So this is like this is the framework for external provisioners.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has bigger.
And I thought we were using the controller and the watch loops in the local storage as well.
No, we. Storage, we needed a provisioner for,
I thought he had,
Also, the local provisioner also doesn't do dynamic provisioning.
Oh.
Right now, at least.
I thought Matthew had some HA checkout.
Yeah, it's check is different than what she said. Yeah.
Oh, it's multiple provisioners running at the same time. You don't want just one of them doing the provisioning. You want all of them doing the provisioning when they're told. Okay.
That's how it
Okay. So that's the list of projects that we have in that external repository. Do we have any other projects that the SIG owns that's not listed here?
Kubernetes-CSI has a bunch of stuff, but I imagine that's going to stay where it is because it's technically sanctioned. What else do we have? CSI is its own repo independent.
We're out of process with that.
So we have that one that we created, the one that you got that doesn't have anything in it.
CSI volumes.
Yeah, like, sounds like we don't need it right now.
Not necessarily. That was a home for like scoundrel CSI plugins. They didn't really have a home.
This, okay, I think that's pretty much it.
Something I think might be useful is like a common mount utility library for CSI drivers. I think a lot of the CSI drivers are just copying the same mounter code from Kubernetes code base.
You can throw that in Kubernetes CSI.
Yeah.
Kubernetes CSI is kind of our new Wild West of external storage.
Well,
right?
the common theme there is like it's all the CSI stuff. Versus over here,
But we're operating outside of this
And the-
site of the architecture.
But the
Or the steering
CSI,
committee.
Kubernetes CSI doesn't have any library. It goes like
the host project.
project runnable,
Right.
that has been what.
We could do libraries there too, theoretically.
Oh, but I guess so like the mounting stuff is not like in any specific, right? The mounting logic is for CSI functions which are outside of Kubernetes.
Yeah.
So ideally, like mounting libraries for functions of CSI.
CSI repo has a library sub-repo that currently is complete. So we could have things like that.
We want the libraries to just be one thing so we can vendor it in and we don't run into this circular dependency crap.
People can duplicate the same code everywhere.
So yeah, with this containerized model to this work, right? And the volume host interface can get that runtime and then exec into the pod or container and grab them all. Now that CSR is there, that's no longer needed.
Like once we switch 100% over to CSI, we can clean that up. We can also clean up the GK, GC weird like sandbox that we have for mounting. Yeah. That'll get.
All right, so Michelle, on the mounter stuff, is that something, are you proposing an official project for it, or do you want to go and try to write the code?
Maybe in like one of the CSI repos.
Yeah. You can do
I
it.
guess, but is there going to be any issues like pulling code down this repo and like CSI repo?
I think it'll officially see, CSI will become a CNCF project, and so both Kubernetes and CSI will basically be CNCF projects. So they'll share the same CLI. They don't yet, but they will eventually.
Do you want to wait till I have a pull request to name the project, or do you want to? Do you care?
Oh, I don't. I think there's already a repo. Like you said,
There's already a
CSI
repo.
With this code in it?
Not with the code, but like it's like a utilities repo that already exists.
Yeah, right now this code is just spread across like every driver.
What I'm really trying to do is get an owner. Slyly get someone to sign up to take the responsibility to take it, but now it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look at it, but I can't promise that it will provide any concern.
All right, let's leave it off here until you get a chance to look at it.
If you look under your sort of interface, you should be like, oh,
All right, so that's it for the Kubernetes project, or for our SIG storage projects. I will create the owner's file for the ones we have listed, and I will contact the people, Mr. whoever, the Coffee C and Humble. So I'm like that yellow, so I remember him.
So it sounds like the outcome here is we're gonna have two new repos out of this.
Yes, we'll have the lib repo and we'll have a local volume
Can we
repo.
go over the CSI ones real quick and make sure each one of them has a visual home?
AWS EFS,
Going to AWS, makes sense.
Ceph, RBD, I'm gonna have to talk to Oak Coffee C.
Okay.
See where that's living. or where you want. I'm sure there's a Ceph
Yeah.
org that we can move it to.
Yeah. I don't think there's any SIG that Ceph could go into, but like the Ceph repo. I think there's already a Ceph, CSI driver under GitHub / Ceph, so I think it might already be there. Yeah, it might already be there. It's not under Kubernetes yet, it's under GitHub / Ceph.
Kubernetes such is this.
If you go to Kubernetes -CSI documentation, and there's a bunch of drivers.
Okay, so DigitalOcean dead. Flex. Actually, don't we have a Flex CSI bridge?
Oh, okay.
And that was
nobody like owned it after Joffrey.
Does anybody want to own Flex?
The Flex adapter.
We are giving it away for 1 penny. All right, is anybody using Flex?
The Flex for the provisioner?
Anything, any Flex, all Flex stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Would you like to own it? So we're talking. So the issue is we're trying to deprecate it and move it.
So let's be clear about what we're deprecating. This is the Flex provisioner that's being deprecated.
So I'm not sure like where this is used, because I don't think we use this thing at all. Even with the dynamic provisioner, we immediately create Flex volume source and we use directly over there.
Okay.
So I don't think we need this as a repository, but as long as we don't deprecate the Flex volume source as such.
That's not going
Okay. We still need an owner for that too, though, right?
Flex.
Yeah, because as it moves to CSI, that's going.
Yeah, somebody needs to help maintain it. We've been relying on Chakri to do that. I think he's been less engaged, so if someone can step up and help.
Are you interested in moving that?
Yeah, we can own it.
I mean, the other option is to. I mean, really, what you want to do is have a CSI driver and not use Flex.
Right, so I think until we move to CSI and until everybody moves to CSI, we need to maintain Flex. Right? So
Yeah, and we will.
What's coming in, we need to have some kind of support structure to handle those.
I think what's going to happen is as Flex bugs come in, we're bring it up at the 6 storage meeting and just get volunteers.
Okay. The Gluster piece, I'll talk to Humble. We will probably find the home for this in the Gluster org. Hack, dead. Hi, Scuzzy, John, and Waman.
So I'm thinking a new project here.
For the ICSI driver? A new.
6 storage dash ISC dash.
And not keep it in this Kubernetes CSI repo?
Well, could do that too. Because we have big sessions. Okay, maybe Kubernetes CSI.
You're the one that the steering committee is going to come after because you sit right down the hall from them. Lib directory, this is the new project. Local volume.
You want to put a comment there for the last one? Say,
Okay, external provision, new project. Local volume, new project.
NFS, I think, also goes to Kubernetes actually.
These are the 2 provisioners for it.
Yeah, so the provisioners get merged in with CSI driver, the NFS CSI driver. So it becomes, looks like a lot of comment. It does exist.
There is an NFS CSI driver?
Yeah, Kubernetes CSI.
Who owns this? everybody. Where's those NetApp guys? Would you like an NFS driver? Poor orphaned NFS driver.
Is there, what NFS code is needed?
So it's the CSI driver for NFS. So the goal is to move all of the in-tree volume plugins out of tree as CSI drivers eventually. And we've been kind of piecemealing which drivers we write in CSI, NFS being one of them.
What I'm trying to figure out, what would be shared between our driver and someone else's driver?
Where's your NFS driver at? Is it a provisioner or something else? Like how are you mounting NFS volumes to a pod? Through the NFS entry?
Yeah, we just created DBs in our
Called NFS. Okay, so that driver is what we're looking to eventually, to establish an order for and eventually move out of tree.
Well, so our existing dynamic provisioning stack with CSI driver.
If you had your own NFS driver, it'd have to either use Flex or you could use CSI. If you have,
Uses CSI, so what I don't understand is what ends up getting shared.
well, your NFS CSI driver, do you want to donate that to the community?
Well, it sounds like you don't have a NFS CSI driver. You only have an external provisioner. Your Trident provisioner is an external NFS provisioner, and then you rely on the in-tree NFS driver to actually mount. And so what we're planning is eventually that in-tree code moves out of tree into CSI driver, and we expand on it by pulling in the external provisioner into CSI because that's possible now. Somebody needs to own that code. Nobody really owns the in-tree code, and nobody really wants to take ownership of the external code either. So
I think we would be happy to own it. If it's something that is going to affect us, I'm not convinced that it affects
Like,
us.
NFS is one of those weird things where mount and unmount is common across all NFS implementations, but provisioning is different depending on the NFS.
yeah.
So like, all of these different NFS implementations now end up having to write their own CSI drivers just to do provisioning. And there is still like common mount and mount code there.
So then whoever writes the CSI NFS driver should write it in a way that the provisioner is pluggable.
That sounds
It doesn't have a provisioner right now.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds difficult because you're like, some of the provisioning parts could be private.
Yeah, we need multiple NFS provisioners essentially, right? And we can't just
But I
have
mean,
one.
like, in the end,
And the
as
common
far as
one
CS
shouldn't have a
as far as
provisioner.
CSI is concerned, there's a great volume call, right? If we could provide a way to be able to just
So
drop your block of code into it and say, this is,
I think for the community-owned NFS CSI driver, there should not be a provision. And I mean, unless we identify one particular NFS server that is
it
common
shouldn't
community
have
common.
it doesn't need to have a default provisioner, but it should have a hook to add a provision.
Like, I think it could be, like, I feel like we could have a common mount and mount NFS.
Right, an NFS driver that doesn't mount on a level.
And then each vendor could write their own NFS CSI plugin that has their own vendor-specific provisioning part that they can pull from common mount and mount.
Because EFS is a good example. It uses the NFS transport, but it also provisions using an AWS.
That makes sense. Okay. So then this would be
So how big would that library end up being? It would be like 2 lines of code.
Probably about 100 or 200.
However, the current mount and mount takes,
yeah.
which I think is like maybe 100.
I'll loan it until the NetApp guys warm up their hearts.
What works?
So then the question for these two NFS provisioners is, do they get deprecated or?
Yeah,
Like, the NFS client is not vendor specific.
Right.
NFS client works against any NFS.
So why can't we bundle that with it
You could.
and call that the default CSI NFS?
we could. I mean, that's fine.
So then we would maintain two projects. One is NFS Common, which is just the mount libraries.
The thing we don't want to do is make it awkward for people that are using NFS transport to override that or provide some other provisioner.
Right. So we'll provide two things. One is the NFS Common libraries that give you mount and unmount. Then we provide a NFS CSI driver, which uses the NFS Common library, and it gives you a provisioner that provisions shares, which apparently is common. And then if that doesn't work for you, use the NFS Common library with your own provisioner logic.
Well, I don't know, why are we in a rush to provide a provisioner? I mean, it's like iSCSI, do we need an
rush to
iSCSI?
provide a provisioner? It's the fact that we already have one. Either we throw this code away or we move it somewhere else.
That's true.
And I would rather not throw it away. I'd rather move it somewhere.
A code hoarder. Okay.
So let's say we have two projects. One is NFS Common. Second is, I guess, NFS Client using the NFS Common library as the CSI driver.
You don't have Manila in this, right?
Do what?
Manila.
Do I have what?
Vanilla?
Yeah, Manila.
Manila. We don't have the Manila provisioner listed here.
Yeah, what's that one? Yeah. Here's the external storage actually.
I think that's sufficient.
There's still not, don't. That will also depend on the yeah. It's not
What's okay? So it's just what directory is it under?
It's called OpenStack shared process.
Who called it there?
And it will also depend on this NFS common.
It was TS Matana that was owning that, right?
Yeah.
So we need this to be a CSI driver as well, don't we?
Yeah, so I have to use the NFS process.
There was talk about using a SEF transport.
But this driver uses a so I'm going to want to duplicate or we have support
This should live in probably Kubernetes CSI, right?
It's OpenStack shared.
It's Manila. It's awkwardly named Manila.
Is it NFS or is it something weird that the process?
No, Manila is an open stack. If we only had the creator to talk about it.
There's already a version of that.
Well, so I know Tomasz dropped a Manila provisioner. We can use NFS for the transport for the CSI driver. We don't have a CSI driver for Manila that I'm aware of.
Oh, right, sorry.
So we need a new CSI driver for this.
Would that live in OpenStack repo?
We think if we follow that same pattern, if we're going to use that pattern for the center driver.
So we could live in the OpenStack repo and use that NFS.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yep. That's a good pattern.
like 4 drivers can use NFS actually.
NFS common.
So NFS has to
Nobody wants to maintain them.
I just don't think there's that much to maintain.
Yeah, I mean, true.
I mean, we made bug fixes in Kubernetes mountain code to handle NFS things.
Maintainer is not so much about like writing new code as it is like approving bug fixes and stuff.
Also, we have this stupid budgeting issues for NFS.
Yeah, if NFS server goes down, can cause cumulative, which is terrible.
So when we extract NFS song, we have to consider all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. So we got all the projects now.
I had a quick question about something similar to NFS is SIFs, right?
That is true.
Do we want to make a
No, SIFs, the Azure, yeah, SIFs. Who's working on it? Are you working on it? We use it, but we don't want to own it.
I know it's like that. It's
There are Microsoft people working on Azure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I mean, it's a good point. It's something that we should. I don't know how we convince the SIG Azure, assuming that there is one, to write a CSI driver.
Should be fairly.
They'll probably figure it out soon enough.
I was just getting talked to.
Yeah, I know. SIFs.
CFS will just need longer.
There's not?
I mean, CFS itself will not have the root. But Azure file may have, but the same CFS is a protocol.
Should we just call it Azure file so that we can handle it?
I don't think we can break up that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a protocol. So it could also, I don't know.
So would it be like
SIFs?
common?
It's not organized.
No, but it's similar to the way they were breaking down the library.
I think it's a EFS and NFS.
It's a transport. Is there multiple people using the transport? I mean, if there is, I can see it is a library and breaking it out as a library, but if
It's not
it's
like,
a party of one.
Manila uses it. So Manila and Azure file apparently both use.
Manila?
Well, yeah, that could do it as multiple people, right? And if it seems like more obvious choice. Yeah, I mean, you need the common library for the amount, maybe.
I'd say let's.
We need an owner for this.
Yeah, unless someone comes to us and says, we want a home for this, let's have a first to it.
But
This
this
one
was
is, this is
CFS.
HP.
What's that?
This is HP.
It's true, we do have an Azure file issue. I mean, we have an Azure file
Right,
plugin.
so we have Azure file entry, Azure, SIG, Microsoft, or what is it?
Whatever that crap.
They're gonna need to, and they're gonna have to put it in their repo. We're gonna talk to them to do that. I don't know if we need to go in like special case, this protocol that Azure file uses.
Personally, I don't know enough about it to talk to it, right? And I think that's the problem when we don't have an owner. It's like, who knows enough to talk to this?
This is a standard protocol.
It's just like, yeah, we know enough that it's parallel to NFS and get to what it looks like. It's exactly like that.
Well-
It does the Azure specific for provisioning, and then for all the amount it's.
Well, so my second point of this is if we don't have an owner, who's going to go do the work? I know who the last committer is, and Waman doesn't want us to know.
Okay, so then maybe we just handle it the same way that we're handling this, which is there's a common runtime library, and then anyone can use that to build a CSI driver on top of it. The most likely candidate for that is going to be Azure File.
So I'll talk to Waman about this and see what we need to do. I know it's the GCP disk isn't in here.
Yes, we're trying to find a final home for it. We wanted to do it in Google Cloud Platform. That's where it is right now. We might move it to SIG GCP. But either way, it's SIG there.
Okay. That one's fine.
Azure, AWS, GCP, there. Those are the 4 cloud providers. VMware.
Oh, VMware. Steve, you paying attention?
It's another one.
I mean, it's kind of documenting what all the are that they're going to tell.
Steve Wong. The vSphere plugin?
Yeah.
For CSI.
What's up with that?
I wish Hugh Sharp was here, but I don't personally know.
So far we've been kicking ownership of the cloud provider plugins to the SIG, the cloud SIGs.
I guess put my name there, but
Okay.
I can't answer any questions.
Okay. vSphere. What's it called? What's the better name for it?
Well, I think this is a project name. It's actually that.
I think the volume repo they just called
VMDK. Virtual machine.
Yeah.
That's the storage type?
Yeah, that's the plugin name.
Is it SIG VMware or SIG vSphere?
VMware.
What's your GitHub ID?
Can't be wrong.
That was just worth asking. All right.
Nice because he was up there.
Yep, iSCSI is way up here. So is that all the projects we own?
Are we saying that this is iSCSI target D, but there's another iSCSI?
You know, the iSCSI target D is the provisioner, right? So I think that's the same thing. Like we're just going to have an iSCSI CSI driver that takes the provisioner here and the entry.
So can you add?
Are there other? I mean, so are there? Are you saying is this sort of like NFS2, where iSCSI is the common protocol transport protocol?
Right.
And you have multiple different.
Well, I wondered about that. The provisioner for iSCSI, I assumed it just created volumes on, or created, I don't know, ones or whatever on an iSCSI device. Is it vendor specific? I mean, is there? Right.
So create another line, 16, and call it iSCSI common.
Yeah, but this is vendor agnostic implementation, right?
And this will just be the transport layer, not the mount library.
So where do you envision that code living?
The common library?
Yeah.
There's a Kubernetes-CSI repo, which we can put anything CSI related under. So I'm thinking of creating a new repo there.
Are other people going to be concerned that it's in a Kubernetes repo?
I talked to G from Mesos about this. So for example, the CSI driver for AWS is going to be harbored in SIG AWS, which is Kubernetes. I asked him if he was concerned about that. He said he doesn't care as long as it's open source.
That's why we have the CSI volumes, or we could move stuff out there if it got, if it got thorny.
Yeah, I think they just don't care. As long as it's open source, they're fine. If it's in the Kubernetes repo, it's fine.
What I've established from this conversation is everybody wants to use it, nobody ever wants to maintain it. So whatever we do to maintain it, they'll be happy. Okay. Anything else?
So we have NFS common, iSCSI common, SIPs common. Is that put at the bottom?
I wanted to talk to Waman about this.
Okay, see if it's necessary.
It might be splitting hairs, yeah.
Any other common protocol libraries that we need to maintain?
See?
Oh, Fiber Channel.
Oh, Fiber Channel, that's a good one. Who wants to own this?
I mean, we could leave Fiber Channel entry. That's an option.
Yeah, actually, I'll take it. First order of business.
Do you really want it, or?
No.
Damn it.
Long-standing deal.
Yeah. He knows how much I hate it.
It does get some usage.
Yeah, we can probably leave it as is. There's no cloud dependency there, and yeah, it's a hardware dependency. Actually, that's probably a very good reason for that.
Yeah. He's who ends entry. Right? So maybe.
Who was it? Wasn't he working? I thought he.
Yeah, he was working.
Is he still though? Because I.
They switched. Someone replaced his role. So someone else is taking over his role.
And his name?
I forgot his name. But Aaron is.
Okay.
The Fiber Channel was.
Do you want to pull up the Kubernetes volume repo and see what all the volume plugins are? And,
Okay.
itemize all of them?
Yeah, the
While
block.
we're doing this, might as well just zero.
I have it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to look. Oh, look at all this stuff.
So AWS EBS has a home. Throw that on there actually on the list. We have EFS, but we don't have EBS.
EFS is just NFS transport.
Right.
And we do have the EFS provisioner. Oh, EBS. Good call. EBS. EBS. So are we going to try to off this on SIG AWS?
Yep, they've already agreed to it. So
They've agreed to a lot of things and haven't panned out.
they've agreed to it with help from Vermont.
Yeah. I think deep with that.
Yeah.
You want to work on the EBS driver for CSI, isn't it? Like, yeah.
So, Hima, you're okay with your name on this?
No, Jan is the primary. And we are deep,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Jan, me, deep, deep. Deep, right?
Easy. I should.
D.
set all the
Deborah?
AWS.
DEB.
all right. Yeah.
Is there two D's?
ROY.
ROY.
R-O-Y.
I read that OY.
DBS, Azure DD.
There's Azure DB and Azure File. I never understood what the difference was.
It's a block storage DBs and file is there.
Are they okay? Got it. So it's their NFS versus Flock.
Yeah.
Do we need to call those out?
And we have a file there. That's your file. So I should just file.
What is going on?
Put CSI on there too.
There's a guy from Microsoft, Andy someone who's really active in this.
Oh, config map.
So, okay, Ceph we talked about, Cinder we talked about. Config map stays in tree. CSI stays in tree. Downward API stays in tree. MPDIR stays in tree. Fiber channel. We can think about moving out of tree, but unless there's a strong reason, I'd like to leave it there for now.
Would you? I mean, wouldn't you like to do the same thing with all this stuff?
I would like to, but I bet we're gonna have trouble finding someone to do it.
Depending on how kind we are to Waman, he might do it.
All right, so then let's say Kubernetes CSI for it.
So I listed down here. I think I put Waman's name on it already. Actually, I'm going to put him on there and then put a red, and then it'll be really nice to him. Okay, there's fiber channel, flex volume.
Flex stays where it is. Blocker. Is this even maintained?
It was 3 months ago.
No, I'm just update. I don't know.
Who knows about Flocker?
Yeah, the guy Surge who used to come here.
Maybe we can delete this code. I think so.
You can take a look at the repo, but I don't think that repo has been touched for years, so. You know.
It's probably there just as a migration for people that were using Flocker before.
And most of the commits are like this, are making the plugin interface and so none of the Flocker bits have been changed.
So we should deprecate that. GCPD, we have already. Git repo should stay where it is. Cluster FS, we already talked about. Postmat stays where it is. iSCSI we talked about. Local stays where it is. NFS we talked about. Photon.
Yeah, there's a PR open to delete this plugin.
Okay. So that's gonna.
Yeah, it's a VMware product. The VMware I'm looking at PR.
Oh, we can't actually delete it, right? It's great. Like, you can't delete it from the API.
Well, I mean, if the project owner is there.
Yeah, VMware no longer supports Photon.
Yeah, but I mean, their PR actually removed it out of the API, E1 API. Can we actually do that?
I think we can.
It has to be a year deprecation. That was what Tim said.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I wonder if we can bypass that, considering like these two projects are dead. Photon. And
What's the benefit of it?
Flocker. Like,
There's
the
no
point of a
maintenance.
deprecation policy is to ensure that anybody that's using it has sufficient time to move off of it. But if the project's completely dead, I'm not sure we need to abide by the deprecation policy.
So the not removing it is the downside is that each time you make a plugin change, you have to
Yeah, you have to go and update it.
update all the.
We're not going to be doing that anymore, right?
Uh,
All right. Who wants to own removing it?
we do that.
let's see who wants to do it. Portworx.
Yeah, throw my name on removing it.
Oh, you want to remove it?
I like to leave it.
Portworx. There's a CSI plugin for this, right?
Portworx, there's a CSI plugin they're working on. Luis already has one. So yeah.
Nope. Blah 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 blah.
LPABOS.
LP. Blah, 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 blah.
So, PABON.
Wait, what? LP.
BAON.
Okay.
No,
LP, whatever. So this one's healthy. It's in the CSI repo.
yeah, it's in CSI repo. It's probably one of
It's as healthy as LPBAON.
If we go back to that photon, is that the VMware photon?
Yep.
Yes.
And you're sure it's dead? Because I can check.
You want to make sure it's dead?
Yeah.
Shoot in the face a couple times.
See, there's a PR open by VMware itself today.
Okay, well, then they should own deleting myself.
That would be good.
Well, if they already put the PR to delete it, maybe then it's just.
Side needs to approve.
Yeah.
Just need to approve it.
All right, so Portworx Project D. What the heck is that?
Project.
Objective. This is going to be.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Coldlight. Anybody from Coldlight present? Anybody know the Coldlight people? So there's somebody, yeah. If you
Ooh, Michelle touched it once. Your name's in the commit history.
Oh, I removed people from the owner's file.
Good enough.
So let's take, ideally, there should be a CSI driver for it. External.
We'll put this at red, I guess.
Yeah, we need to find an owner.
Right. Okay. Or you can edit that spreadsheet. This is yellow. Needs some attention. So we are next. RBD, we've talked about. Ceph block. Secret.
Scale.io. Before that.
Oh, Scale.io.
I think so. I don't think he was working on it. And I'm not previously about it, but I think it really for them it depends on what OpenShift's uptake is of CSI. That's what really decides whether or not people will support entry or not. Is the sooner OpenShift is recommending CSI as something, I think that'll allow everybody to allow them to push the block.
Are there still owners for this, or?
Chris Deshane.
Yes, all these guys left.
Yeah, they're all of VMware now. But we got to be careful because we're technically partners with.
Steve.
Stand over here. Yeah, I can't see it from that far back.
Then who's the owner?
Yeah, we just need another part.
Lab is on the bottom, he wrote, I think we should.
Yeah, none of them are.
But he's not being paid by the people anymore.
Yeah.
That's the one same big company. Like all owned by them.
I don't know. I'm hesitant to ask because I no longer work there, so I.
I heard Vlad and not getting paid by the same people. So
Yeah.
You guys are technically under the same conglomerate, right?
If you need a name, you can put me there for now, but I'm not authoritative.
I would put Aaron Spiegel.
Okay, go with what he said.
Are they going to show up at the SIGs or respond to my emails and frequent
He
calls?
was actually going to come this week. He just had stuff.
Do you know his email? Can you drop his email in there?
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
Aaron adds something more.
Yeah, let me get my phone. I've got
All right, so Skill.io, Storage OS.
Yeah, that should get moved down too.
What is this?
I think there's owners files for all of these, so it shouldn't be too hard to find.
A good point. Okay, good point. Was that Storage OS? What are we going to do if the owners don't want to own it?
Deprecating code and your deprecation policy.
All right, so Storage OS. I think that was the last one that hadn't been identified. I don't know about this new Mac touchpad. Yeah, testing util.
Post a. It's just common functions there.
Oh, a recycler.
That's the new throw violations. These we already talked about.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, so there's all our projects and all this stuff that we need to move to CSI. Any other items while we're here? Nope. Okay. I will follow up on the stuff that needs following up. And I will populate our owners file with the projects that we've identified. Hey, that took a long time.
I have a question. Are we going to deploy CSI drivers on QWalk.sh?
Yes, for the cloud providers, definitely. Other plugins, so like when we do the entry migration, we will need to go backwards. Yeah. Just see David doing that over there.
All right, so that was it for the.
No, that's like, are we going to deploy CSI plugins QWalk.sh?
We'd have to if we wanted to maintain backwards compatibility.
Stage.
Yeah.
I've not thought about that yet.
I mean, when you discuss, you're talking about adding it as part of the add-on manager.
Yeah.
Which QWalk will use.
Then yes.
Okay.
Cool.
But then again, I think add-on manager is also apparently deprecated.
Oh.
In favor of what? Service catalog?
Like QWalk is deprecated, and I think add-on manager is deprecated, but I don't know what this.
A QWalk is still support for rich GC, right? Like it's deprecated for AWS.
Oh, maybe.
This has been a real weird open source project. It's like at first it was like, yeah, come commit code. Now it's like, get the code out of here. we want them in external repositories. We're deprecating everything.
QWalk and for local processes in the setting inside.
Okay. So we're an hour over. Even though nobody voted for that external stored repo, I foisted it. We have all these other topics. Do we have people that want to talk about them or want to lead the discussion?
You want to stop the recording for the last session?
Oh, yeah, we shouldn't probably record that anyways. Stop sharing.